gentlemen, welcome to the Dover City Council meeting for Monday, April 27, 2015. We will have our invocation this evening by Pastor Wallace Dixon, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Williams.
Shall we pray? First tonight, Lord, we thank you for this day, for you have been with us all day. As we come to this council meeting to do business for our city, we need you to stay with us. Give us the peace that we need to get through this meeting. Bless our city in peace, for you have the peace that outgoes any other. But most of all, give us the peace we need to do business for our city. In your name we pray. Amen and amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have before you this evening's agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening?
Mr. President, if there's not, I'll move for approval as presented.
Moved by Councilman Hutchison.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Williams to approve the agenda as presented. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Approved unanimously. Council agenda this evening, we have before us now the consent agenda. Those items on your agenda, which are considered routine and non-controversial, are marked with an asterisk, and they'll be acted upon by a single roll call vote of council. There'll be no separate discussion of the items unless a member of council so requests, in which event the matter shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item. Which pleasure of council?
Move for acceptance.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hare, seconded by Mr. Slavin. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Perza?
Yes.
Mr. Slavin?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams? Yes. Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Item number 2 on the agenda this evening is a presentation of the mayor's selection for the Jefferson Awards Lead 360 Challenge. I would invite Mayor Christensen and Michelle Fidance, Allison Wade, and Elisa Pastelov from the Jefferson Awards Foundation to the podium for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Allison Wade, and I'm Program Manager at the Jefferson Awards Foundation.
Hello, I'm Melissa Pastelov. I am an intern here at the Jefferson Awards Foundation, and I'm a senior at the University of Delaware.
And I'm Michelle Fidance, National Director for the Jefferson Awards.
The Lead 360 Challenge, an initiative of the Jefferson Awards Foundation, is one of the largest youth service contests in America. The challenge taps into the energy and idealism of young people, encouraging and facilitating them to share their stories of service with millions. This is the 5th year Dover has participated in Lead 360, and we're so happy to have an active community once again. The winner of Lead 360 in 2014 was Emma Ryder of Georgetown, Delaware. She gathered over 80,000 pairs of shoes in 2014 to power clean water communities to 37 communities in Africa. She has now updated that number to over 100,000 pairs of shoes. In 2015, we've expanded Lead 360 to a 2-phase challenge. In phase 1, we collect the best young ideas of young people in 3 specific areas of care: hunger and poverty, health and wellness, and education and literacy. In phase 2, we will activate these 3 projects in those 3 areas of care. We have Dream Boxes, which collects school supplies, letters of encouragement to school children. We have Gear Going Global, which collects new and gently used sports equipment to overseas and local communities. And The Future Isn't Hungry, which collects non-perishable food items with healthy recipes for hungry families. We are activating these 3 national projects through our website, where we're going to track the impact of all the communities across the nation. We invite individuals, organizations, and schools to participate in these 3 projects, and you can visit our website to learn about more of how to get involved. This year in LEAD 360, we had 6 mayors participate. We have the City of Dover, Georgetown, Lewis, Newark, Seaford, and Wilmington. And across the state, we had 41 projects, which engaged over 10,000 volunteers, 33,000 volunteer hours, had an impact of 289,000 lives, and had a financial contribution to the state of Delaware of $757,000. Now we will be giving out the awards to all of the Dover recipients with Mayor Christensen, and I'll hand it over to Alyssa to read the projects.
Okay, so the first award we're going to give out today is for Central Middle School's Senators in Action Club. So if you guys want to come up. The Senators in Action Club at Central Middle School have made a commitment to helping the less fortunate in their community, with special attention given to those with Alzheimer's and hospitalized veterans. They meet on Friday afternoons to work together to make a positive difference in the lives of others. They have completed many different projects over the school year.
You can step right up in front of the podium facing the mayor.
Come up here and turn around and face the audience. Face this
Spread
way.
right across the front there.
I'm very pleased to present this award to you. And if you look out toward the audience, there's a photographer there. Somebody will help with that. Good job, Senators in Action.
The next 2 awards we have are both from Dover High School. The first one is Dover High School Communities in Action in Schools. The Communities in Schools group at Dover High School will complete a service and learning course aimed at teaching students the value of community service as a way to learn and as a way to help their communities. The course will also earn students college credit to help them continue their education. This year they will focus on global hunger and food insecurities, partnering with the Food Bank of Delaware to give students hands-on experience. The Dover and High School Interact Club is hosting an event called Little Dresses for Haiti with a goal to sew 50 to 100 dresses for children in Haiti. The dresses will be created from donated new pillowcases and handmade by the students in the club.
Or if you'll step over here for a photo, all right?
And who is receiving the award this evening?
Tiff McCullough, Assistant Principal, Dover High School.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Next, we have the Dover High School JROTC and Air Force JROTC. The Dover High School JROTC and Air Force JROTC cadets volunteered at the Monster Mash Marathon last October, which benefits the Wounded Warriors Project. The cadets assisted in providing runners with water, Gatorade, and gel energy packs. They also organized a toy drive for Toy for Tots last December. They exceeded their goal of collecting 300 toys by collecting 404 toys for the underprivileged children in Dover and Kent County. Lastly, we have the Mayor's Top Project, the Holy Cross School Knitting Club. The Holy Cross School Cross Knitting Club was started by Reagan Gartsney and Montana Johansson this year. The club is made up of students in grades 1 through 8 who meet twice a month to knit hats for people from newborn to adult. The club has already donated over 324 hats both domestically and internationally.
Squeezed together a little bit. My gosh, is there any bread left in the store?
There you go.
Well, I'm very pleased to present this to the Holy Cross Knitting Club. We had a very nice luncheon in Wilmington. I was going to get my picture taken with the 2 young knitters, and as soon as Senator Parker came in, he swept them and Mrs. Pollard away, and so you can tell where I rank. You guys did a great job, and Ms. Pollard, I'm going to present this to you on behalf of 360. I'd like to acknowledge Father McQuaid, who is the associate pastor at Holy Cross, and Mrs. Pollard is the assistant principal at Holy Cross Elementary School.
Squeeze
So
in
let's
there.
squeeze all together. And I want them to know that if they get one award after this that Senator Parker couldn't give them, they get to go to my office and be mayor for a minute. So everybody smile. Say cheeseburger.
Mayor, I think the girls have something to give you.
Thank you very much. Do I get the, oh, I don't get the orange one? Eat your heart out, everybody. I'm going to wear this when we have our Christmas, our holiday.
There you go.
Thank you. Congratulations. Now, if we'll all head toward my office, you can be mayor for a minute. All right?
Father, with the mayor's encouragement of all the youngsters at Holy Cross, does he get special dispensation?
He has to get there 5 minutes early.
All right, let's go.
Thank you.
All right, follow me.
All right, item number 3 on the agenda this evening is a presentation of the 2014 annual report of the Robbins Hose Company, the Dover Fire Department. I would invite Chief Mark Hall to the podium to give the presentation this evening. Chief, the floor is yours.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that up. Mine's not as exciting. The 2014 annual report. The Dover Fire Department would like to appreciate the leadership of Chief Matthew Carey for the year 2014. I am the fire chief for the year 2015. It just tells a little bit about myself. I have 13 years of service to the citizens of Dover. I'm a life member of the fire department, and I held the office of deputy fire chief last year. I was also assistant chief for 2 years and captain for 2 prior to that. A little bit about the statistics. For 2014, that's a typo, 451 false alarms or false calls, and that falls under faulty activations, malicious, and accidental alerts. 197 good intent calls, and that can fall under investigations of smoke or odor or canceled prior to us responding. 163 actual fires, and that includes building, houses, cooking fires, vehicle, brush, or grass. 144 service calls, which is water leaks, floods, assist the police or other agencies. 121 hazardous conditions with no fire, fuel spill, gas leak, electrical hazards. And we had 97 rescue and emergency medical, which is MVCs with entrapment and medical assist. The Dover Fire Department is a little bit unique in the fact that we are the only fire department that runs MVCs with entrapment. We don't go on every accident, and the MVC is a motor vehicle collision. If we went on every injury accident, our run totals would be up over 5,000, and we're still 100% volunteer. And we have 4 severe weather calls or natural disasters. And the run total was 1,191 for the year 2014. In 2014, we utilized department funds to purchase a CL Series Command Light Tower for Rescue 1. The approximate cost was about $27,000. It was closer to $30,000 once it was installed and functioning properly. It reaches up to 11 feet from its base, and it's designed for large apparatus. It's manufactured using aircraft-grade aluminum alloy to reduce the weight while adding strength. Basically, as we tell all the members, it brings the sun to the scene. It will light up an entire field the size of, I think, 2 acres to where you don't need a flashlight. The City of Dover helped the Dover Fire Department purchase 55 of the latest designed air packs, and they're called the MSA G1. We have not received them as of yet. We should be receiving them within the next 20 days. They have not hit the market. Baltimore City was due to be the first department to get them. That's been delayed, obviously, so it looks like the City of Dover may be the first to get these air packs. It just points out some things on it. The heads-up display, or HUD, it's integrated within our regulator now. It eliminates snag hazards. It's immune to radio frequency or interference, and it provides the firefighter with remaining cylinder air volume. So the arrow is pointing to a little guy running. He's lit up red. That means get out. You don't have enough air. The green lights on the side are just another indicator for us to use about our air supply. Blue means you're okay. Yellow means you got about 20 minutes left. The G1 mass-mounted regulator is the smallest and lightest regulator available. Push to connect regulator disengagement shall simultaneously stop airflow and release regulator. And all in all, the total air pack has fewer than 35 parts. So basically, as of right now, our regulators have 3 ways to shut it off, and it takes bleeding the air out and then depressing 2 things on the top of the regulator to turn off the airflow completely. With this, as soon as you unhook from your facepiece, it's off. So that'll save some air and some headaches in the future. The City of Dover has also provided the funding for 65 new Motorola APX 6,000 portable radios for use on our persons, and 24 APX 6,500, some of them are 7,500, mobile radios for inside the apparatus. The 7,500 ones are encrypted so that we can communicate with Dover Police if necessary. And the APX 6000 XE is the ideal communication solution for first responders working in extreme environments. If you notice, I don't have a laser pointer, do I?
You did.
Which one? Well, if you notice, the knobs on the radio where you turn it on and off are enlarged. Also by the numbers underneath the lightning bolt, yes, the knob is enlarged, and that helps us with our interior operations, having big bulky gloves on inside the fire. Larger knobs help tremendously, and we can't thank the city enough for purchasing the radios and the air packs. It's hopefully once the air packs get in, the radios have been great so far. The APX 6500 delivers seamless multi-band interoperability through any 2 bands, and that's going along the lines of what I was saying. We have interoperability with Dover Police, also every other agency in the state. I believe 4 agencies in Maryland, 4 counties in Maryland. And it's all ready to support new technology, data, and applications. So we're hoping that somehow the new Knox boxes that were procured tie into the radio system somehow, and we can utilize it that way. Go over some incidents that we had in 2014. February 2nd, everybody knows Kirby and Holloway fire. We responded and were dispatched for a building fire. Duty officer vehicle was first on scene with Assistant Chief Hall, myself. Found a 1-story restaurant with smoke showing from the attic area. Engine 6 was first on scene and directed to the front of the building. The crew established a water supply. Come to find out the water supply was no good. The hydrant was barren. We made forcible entry through the front door. Crews, just to elaborate on a little, crews didn't really have much of a fire in the restaurant on the first floor. They made access to the basement area, found a fire going up the firewall and into the attic, which I think the fire marshal deemed there was 3 separate roof lines. So it was in between the 3 separate roof lines, hence causing the major fire on the roof. We were there for about 4 hours. We did get a water supply established, and there was no injuries reported. May 5th, we had a house fire on Nimitz Road. Chief Carey was first on scene. It's a 2-story single-family dwelling, heavy fire from both first and second floor. He requested a second alarm. Engine 2 arrived, secured the water supply, and we stretched an 1.75-inch hand line through the front door. We got pushed back by heavy fire, and I went up to Matt and told him it's not worth sending anybody in, so we decided to go defensive. House was still standing. I believe city inspections has since demolished same. Rescue company assist on May 22nd. We sent the rescue truck along with, I believe, 8 firefighters to Marydale to assist with the tornado touchdown. Rescue 1 went with myself and 7 other firefighters. We basically checked residences on the whole road. It got really hot really fast somehow, and we didn't find any injuries. We found one homeowner refusing to leave their home with a power line down on top. So we said it's their house. If they want to stay in there, they're more than welcome to do so. And they were in Marydale. November 16th at 2352, we had a working house fire on Kenton Road. Chief Matt Carey was first to arrive and had a 2-story single-family residence with heavy fire. Engine 2 was first on scene. They secured the hydrant on Kenton Road and went in through the rear of the residence. Ladder 1's crew arrived and searched the residence as much as they could. We were on scene for 2 hours. We did send 2 firefighters to the hospital, one with pretty bad burns to his ears. He got transferred to Crozier. He has since recovered. He's also a dispatcher with the fire department. October 16th, we had a hazmat on Route 1. First, it was a tractor trailer carrying 5,700 gallons of oil and diesel fuel leaking from the undercarriage. Come to find out, it was his extra tank underneath of the actual tank, and it wasn't 5,700 gallons, but they were connected. So we had to take every precaution in order to get that taken care of. So Denrec and Felton's spill team were called in to help, and we actually cut the tank off and moved it with a dolly. We had a house fire due to arson, September 19th. Our crews were at the Dover High football game with an engine, as they always are. I had a captain on the front seat. He reported the house was fully involved. I then arrived 30 seconds after him. We had called in Hartley, Marydale, and I believe Camden for their tanker. In this area of Hidden Acres, there's no fire hydrants, so we needed a lot of water. We did send people in through the front door because there was a car in the driveway, so we weren't sure if everybody was out. I noticed the roof was starting to collapse on the east side of the house, so I made the decision to pull all firefighters out, and that's when the roof collapsed. November 25th, we had another house fire. Chief Matt Carey was first on scene. It was a single-family house. Ladder 1 and engine 2 arrived at the same time. It took the fire hydrant, took 2 hand lines in through the front door. We then backed the hand line out through the front door and around to the side where most of the fire was, and we had it under control in about 30 minutes. In the community, we were involved in the signing of House Bill 233, the School Safety Act. Myself and Chief Carey went to W. Riley Brown Elementary and watched him sign that bill into service. That was interesting, something I've never seen done before. The congressional delegation was at the State Fire School. Myself, along with 12 Dover firefighters, were invited out there to participate in a training exercise in front of the congressional delegation, where we put out vehicle fires, the pit. You guys have seen the pit light off during the day. It creates a big cloud of smoke, and that was interesting. The Fordham Brewery R2 Hop 2, we're involved in it every year. We set Ladder 2 up as an aerial display and try and recruit new members, and also do community outreach at these events. And we did provide EMS support with some of our EMTs. We also invite Little Creek for EMS. The Firefighter of the Year for 2014 was Michael O'Connor III. On all those fires that you saw, he was pretty much on the first truck every time. So he fought a lot of fire. You could call him and he would be there to help. He is now a captain underneath of me. He's a great fireman. Top 10 responders, we give this out every year. There are top 10 in responses throughout the year, so out of the 1,191, I think you had to make, I think the least amount, number 10 was like 320. So from 320 to 600 these guys made. And that's them with Matt Carey. It was Robert Sosich, Tom Trader, Roger Wolfgang, Dave Knight, Daniel Godwin, Mike Nitch, Kevin Fountain, Carlton Carey Jr., Brandon Naylor, and Sean Byron. And that is the presentation. Is there any questions?
Thank you very much, Chief. Any questions of the Fire Chief? Mr. Hutchison.
Mr. President, thank you. Chief, certainly you can stand very proud of the report you just gave, and certainly to think that it's all done by volunteers is absolutely amazing. And certainly I know that I speak in behalf of every council and every citizen saying thanks for a job well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think it's only fair to point out too, Mark, that we are the only state capital in the United States with a volunteer fire department. The volunteer fire service in the state of Delaware is second to none. They have been innovative, they have been involved, and they have been deeply responsive to our citizen needs throughout the whole state. But we, particularly in the city of Dover, are deeply indebted to the men and women who volunteer with the Dover Fire Department. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 7 is the, first of all, I need to have a motion to accept the report. Moved by Mr. Hare.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hutchison to accept the report. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. Item number 7 is the evaluation of bids for fiscal 15 street and alley program. Mr. Koenig.
Thank you, Council President Bonar. In the packet is the annual City of Dover street program. Staff has prepared a bid package with various locations associated with right-of-ways that are owned by the City of Dover. There are approximately 10 locations on the current tentative work schedule. Bids were received by our purchasing agent. A total of 5 bids were received on April 8th. They range in price from a low of $370,000 to a high of $588,000. Staff has reviewed the bids and determined that the low bidder is qualified to do the work, and staff is recommending the award of a unit price contract based on bid number 15-0030 PW for the FY 2015 street program to Sam's Construction LLC. Based on the prevailing wage rates where applicable, and payment is made on the unit prices identified in the bid sheets. Work will be performed in accordance with bid specifications. This is the draft schedule of locations. As additional funding becomes available, which it sometimes does through community transportation funds, or projects coming in lower than anticipated, there will be street locations that potentially will be added to the work scope up to the amount authorized by our purchasing policy. Happy to answer any questions.
Mrs. Williams.
Mr. Kenny, why the large dichotomy between the prices, do you know?
It's typically driven by the work schedules of the various contractors, and in this case, probably by the asphalt price. So some people have direct supply, some people have, they pay a higher markup.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any other questions of Mr. Koenig? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of council?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Williams, second by Mr. Dixon, to award the unit price contract based upon the bid for the street and alley program to Sam's Construction LLC. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Persa?
Yes.
Mr. Slavin?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Boner?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Item 8 on the agenda, the results of the 2015 regular municipal election. I request the city clerk to report the results. Madam Clerk.
The 2015 regular municipal election was held on Tuesday, April 21st, 2015. Results as certified by the election board are as follows. For mayor, Carlton E. Carey Sr., 622 votes. Robin R. Christensen, 1,390 votes. George J. Gaudioso, 104 votes. For First District City Council, James E. Hosfeld Jr., 485 votes. Beverly C. Williams, 325 votes. For Second District City Council, Brian E. Lewis was unopposed. For Third District City Council to fill the vacant seat with a term to expire in May 2017, Chevis R. Anderson, 172 votes. Fred A. Neal, 404 votes. Third District City Council, David L. Bonar, 241 votes. Scott W. Cole, 345 votes. For Fourth District City Council, Wallace R. Dixon, 58 votes. Kenneth G. Roach, 84 votes. Roy Sudler Jr., 153 votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's a pleasure of council. Need a motion to accept the results in a second.
Move the acceptance of the election results.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Slavin, second by Mr. Dixon to accept the results of the election. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I would point out that in the audience this evening, we have 4 of the 5 newly elected members of council: Roy Sudler, Brian Lewis, Fred Neal, and James Hosfeld. Gentlemen, welcome to the council chamber. You have a big job ahead of you. I know you and Scott will join forces together with the rest of the council that remains and do a good job for our city. Thank you very much for putting yourselves forward. This brings us down to council members' events. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't either. Item number 9, first reading of a proposed ordinance. It's offered for proposed ordinance 2015-08. It's recommended for the referral to the Planning Commission on May 18th, 2015, and that a public hearing be set for June 8th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m., at which time the final reading and council action will take place. Copies are available at the entrance to council chambers or can be obtained from the city clerk's office. The first reading of the rezoning ordinance is for introduction and referral of the amendment only and should not be relied upon as approval of the rezoning classification. It's for properties located at 605, 625, 635, 645, and 655 Bay Road and 400 Hazlitt Street, owned by Blue Hen LLC, Reed Street LLC, and Blue Hen Apartments LLC. The properties are currently zoned either RM2, which is medium density residential, RM2 medium density residence, subject to the source water protection overlay zone, and S3 Regional Shopping Center or SC3 Regional Shopping Center, again subject to the source water protection overlay zone. The proposed zones are SC2, a community shopping center, SC2, a community shopping center subject to the source water protection overlay zone, RG2, the general residence, and RG2 general residence subject to the source water protection overlay zone. What's the pleasure of council?
Move to accept.
Moved by Mr. Slavin to accept. Second by Mrs. Williams.
I was throwing my voice as Mr. Hare that time.
Sorry about that. All right. Any questions on the motion? Mr. Anderson.
Mr. President, I don't understand what are we accepting. Don't we usually move to have the first reading and then refer it, or to planning? What are we doing?
Motion is simply to refer to the planning committee.
Refer to planning. Okay, that's what I was trying to understand.
That's what I had said.
Oh, okay.
That's what Tim was saying. It was just,
sorry I wasn't clear.
Thank you.
any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. I will now defer the city clerk for the introduction of the proposed ordinance in accordance with section 1-9 of the Dover Code. Madam Clerk.
Proposed ordinance number 2015-08, amending the zoning ordinance and zoning map of the city of Dover by changing the zoning designation of properties located at 605, 625, 635, 645, and 655 Bay Road and 400 Hazlitt Street. This constitutes the first reading. The final reading is scheduled to take place on June 8, 2015.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And now we're down to council members' announcements. Before we move on to other announcements, I would invite those of you in the audience and certainly those of you who are watching to a special council meeting which will be held on Monday, May 4th at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. This will be to swear in Councilman-elect Fred Neal. This is necessitated by time consideration because it has to be within 60 days on the, according to the code. So Fred's swearing in will be on Monday, May 4th at a special council meeting at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. The remainder of those who are elected to council will be sworn in at our annual reorganization meeting following. Any other council members' announcements? Mr. Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, the first announcement is I'd like to, first of all, say thank you to military spouses and recognize the Military Spouse Appreciation Day, which is the Friday before Mother's Day. It's May 8th this year, and I would encourage everyone to give some appreciation to a military family member. They serve as well, and that's something to recognize. And the next is I encourage, I think, Councilman-elect Lewis wasn't here. I'd like to invite everyone to a unity breakfast on May 4th at the Capital One Diner, 7:30 p.m., which will be basically a nice little get-together, transition, and a chance to come together in unity. Maybe it's our version of Returns Day. I don't know, but I sponsoring it this year, so don't expect steak.
One egg and one piece of toast.
More scrapple.
But much more generous than
no
that.
Scrapple.
$5.99 special, you know, French toast or pancakes, hash browns, eggs, coffee, meat, you know, but.
And it's all on, and it's on Mr. Anderson.
Absolutely.
Any other council members' announcements? All right. Seeing none, we're adjourned.
There you go.